Hey everybody, it is Tuesday. Why is it every Tuesday I don't know if it's Tuesday or not? It's so weird. About to drive home. Looks like it's about to storm like crazy. So I'm sure we'll run into some more rain. It's been raining on and off all day. No complaints for me. So I'm just going to get to some updates real quick. Still haven't heard back from Best Buy about the TV. I really don't think I'm going to at this point, so I'm going to shoot off my emails tonight to LG and Best Buy and see what happens. We've also noticed that the sound is pretty bad on the TV. You can have it turned on 100, and for the most part you can hardly hear anything. So, you know, the TV's just got way too many problems. They just need to replace it. Everything would be fine. I don't see that happening at this point, but we'll see. I'm still working on figuring out a schedule for recording. I thought I had one set before, but I really think I'm going to have to film everything Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings and then edit, during the week or at least on Sunday and get everything edited down. A lot of it has to do with I don't really have my own space. And so I know as soon as we get the dining room all set up, my wife wants me to put my desk in there, but it still doesn't leave me a whole lot of room. What I'd like to do, and it sounds crazy, is get a shed, put it in the backyard, put an air conditioner in it, and move my stuff out there, my desk and everything, and wire the internet up out there also. And then I'd have my own space to film in. I could paint one wall that chroma. I don't know how to say it. Is it chrome? Yeah, chrome green. So I could do some green screen work also. So I don't know. I'm gonna talk to her about it, and maybe I can find a cheapy one that we can afford and wouldn't be that big of a deal. And I can hook it up in the backyard and just go out there and do my filming and stuff and edit my videos and all that. The only problem I'm going to run into is that I'll have to leave the air conditioner on. It'll need to be on pretty much all the time because my equipment will malfunction if it has to sit out in 100 plus degrees. Plus I need to be able to finish it out and insulate it and all that, which really wouldn't be a problem. I can find somebody to come in and spray insulate inside the walls and then put the sheetrock up and then do the eaves and everything, spray foam them, and then sheetrock it so I have a higher ceiling, or I could put a loft area up. I don't know. I'm going to see if I can find like a used one or something pretty cheap that we can just move in and put on cinder blocks. I have to talk to her about it and see if we got the room, and then I can just go out there and work. I don't have to worry about being interrupted or anything. I just need to worry about getting electricity out there, which won't be a problem. And then I can do whatever work I need to do from out there and get everything done. So, which that would give me, if I get it insulated well enough, that'd give me plenty of privacy. It'd be quiet, and I wouldn't have any interruptions. They can watch TV in the living room and do whatever they want to do. And I can literally just build a desk into one corner and put all my stuff in it. And then, like I said, paint one wall that chrome green. That way I can do green screen. And then I can also put some of my guitars and stuff out there too. I know it kind of sounds crazy, but we only have a 2-bedroom house. It's tiny. It's only like 1,100 square feet. So, I mean, it's not much bigger than most apartments. And since we have a roommate, she takes up the other bedroom. But even if we didn't, my wife still wants to, the roommate, whenever she decides to move out, my wife wants to change that back into a bedroom and could have put a couple of twin beds in there in case we have visitors or whatever's going on, or put a put a full size or a queen, you know, in case we have guests or whatever. And I really can't go put it in the sunroom. The dogs are in there, and the cat's in there, and the ferrets are in there, and they all make a bunch of noise. So I'm really to the point now I need my own space to be able to do this, to be able to concentrate on getting all this done. It'd allow me to put up a whiteboard. I'd have a wall where I could put up a whiteboard and put my recording schedule up. And like I said, you know, it seems like I'm trying to make this a career, and I'm really not. I'm just really into it, and I would like to have the space to do what I want to do when it comes to recording. So it's something I've been looking at, and I have a pretty big toy collection from wrestling toys, and so I'm considering cataloging all of that. I may do that this weekend if I end up having time. I'm gonna take pictures of all of it and basically catalog the whole thing, and then put it up for sale and try to get a decent laptop out of it, and possibly some money towards a storage shed. The finishing work I could pretty much do myself, so I can wire the thing. I just have to have somebody be able to, well, I mean, we have a switch that used to go to the garage that's in the house, and I could always just take that switch out, wire it straight in, and then run that wire out to a storage building and do it that way. So I don't know, I'll have to talk to the wife and see what she feels like doing. We actually need a couple of storage buildings, and this would actually work pretty good. We would just need to get an air conditioner for it. And that's the other thing, is that, you know, window units and stuff like that are really loud. So it would limit the time that I could record some things, because it would be just so loud with the air conditioner. But yeah, I can find ways around that. So, or I can try to find somebody that's got, like, they make these ones that are similar to what they use in like motels, where it's built into the wall, but they have ones that are a little bit different, and they actually are quite a bit quieter. Man, I can't talk for the flip today. And I can always do that, or find, you know, just do a search for which one has the lowest decibel rating, so that I know which one's the quietest, and get that. But I think if I insulated it and maybe put up a really quiet ceiling fan where I'm not getting that noise, that might help. The only problem with ceiling fan is that if I end up with getting a couple of soft boxes to record with, then you have to worry about that wind moving those and making that light, giving you nearly like a shutter effect. So it looks like we have another jackass today that's in an awful hurry. At least he's not riding my ass. Anyway, so I got future plans at some point in time. I still don't know what I'm going to do when we go to the coast. What I'm going to do about, I know what I'm going to do about filming. I'm just going to film, but I don't know how I'm going to edit or upload anything, or how we're going to do that, or where we're going to even stay at this point. So that's something else we have to talk about this week, is figuring out when we're going to do it and how much we have to spend. It's really, I'd love to go, but it's so freaking expensive to go to the Texas coast. And when I looked it up, it's, besides the airfare, it's actually cheaper to stay in Florida on the coast. So when you calculate airfare in, if you get a good, like, JetBlue deal or Southwest deal, it ends up not being that much more to fly to Florida and stay on the coast than to stay on the Texas coast. And I just don't understand that. Texas coast shouldn't be that expensive. The water's not very good. Especially Galveston, the beach kind of sucks. There's not many waves, so I don't know. gotten so expensive. I kind of understand it because a lot of the new construction and everything. But anyway, so this might be a little extra long vlog. I kind of get tired of just giving you guys updates and not really talking about anything. And since I do these one-shot record videos, sometimes I feel like there's no real meat in them, versus when you cut one up, it might be 5 minutes and it seems like there's a lot more going on. So I just wanted to like pick a subject and talk about it today, and that's kind of where I thought I would be in life, basically now. So if I went back to when I was in high school, before my senior year, I was involved in what they call Explorer Scouts. And if you don't know what it is, you basically, Explorer Scouts are usually sponsored by a police department or something like that, and you go and they do training. So I basically did police training, and then they would use us at Christmas time to escort people to their cars at the mall. So we'd escort women to their cars. Not that I could have done much back then. I'd probably got my ass kicked, but being a police officer is something that I really considered. I even actually considered it about a year and a half ago. And before I got the job I had now, I was talking about it. And when I got this job, my wife and I had decided that this would just be a temporary job until I lost the weight and got into better shape so I could go to Sheriff's Academy and become a sheriff's deputy. And that, she would work the nonprofit and get a job, and then we would just figure it out, because I wouldn't really be able to work full time and go to the school. But of course I got this job, and I really like this job, even though it is computers, and that's kind of where I was wanting to get away from. But anyway, so I had some friends that were not very law-abiding, I guess is the right word. So they kind of influenced me to a point that I didn't want to do it. So I quit doing Explorer Scouts and all that. And dang, my wrist feels weird today. And so basically I thought about really what I wanted to do with my life. And I had two things I wanted to do, and they're semi-related. I either wanted to be a disc jockey on the radio, or I wanted to be a sound engineer. And I actually did get to work as a sound engineer at some point in time, and I may be recording some stories for the Story Time with Frank about my time at the recording studio. So be looking for those in the future. Those are some interesting stories. So anyway, my goal, I had two goals. I either wanted to be a disc jockey or a sound engineer, and I wanted to live on the Texas coast. This is literally the only two things I wanted out of life. As you can see, I'm not a sound engineer, and I'm not a disc jockey, and I don't live on the coast, so I never got to that point. And the reason I bring this up is that I don't feel like that even when I was a kid I had much direction, and I didn't have, other than my parents trying to help me, I didn't have any mentors. And so I really just kind of floated along. Got drunk a lot, screwed around and lost jobs, and would get a new job, like a really good job, and then just not show up. And generally became a hellraiser instead of, someone who should have just stopped, taken a look at what I really wanted to do and just went for it. And I always felt like I couldn't, and my friends would go, "Oh, you'll never be able to get into that, you can't do that." That's, it's good as your friends are, they're a horrible influence on you when you're a kid. Horrible. And so I never went for any of it. And at this point, I probably never will. Now, I'm not saying I won't ever live on the Texas coast. We actually came close before, I don't even remember which hurricane it was. The one that pretty much wiped out Crystal Beach, that's down near Galveston. We went down there for a week, and my wife and I had a really good job at the time, so her and I had actually talked about buying a place down there and renting it out to make the payment, because we'd only have to rent it out like 1 week a month to make the payment. At the time, it wouldn't have been that bad, and then we could go down there anytime we wanted, so we could basically rent that thing out 3 weeks out of the month and go down there for, even just a weekend. And we were seriously considering it, and then we stopped and we wanted to wait and kind of see how the market went, and then of course everything got wiped out. But eventually I'll get there. But my whole point in all of this is that if you know of a kid who really doesn't have a lot of direction, it could be a very younger sibling, could be a niece, nephew, second, third cousin. If you can do anything to help them, do it, because their friends aren't going to. Their friends want them to be as screwed up and as screwy as they are. And as much as you think your friends want you to succeed when you're a kid, they don't. That's just how it is. It was that way when I was a kid. It's that way now. As much as your friends say, oh yeah, we support you, they really don't. If they think that you're going to get ahead of them at any point in time, then they're not going to be there for you. Now, that's not to say all of your friends are like that. Your true friends, the ones that you keep the rest of your life, those are the people that encourage you and ask you questions, saying, oh, well, so you wanted to get into sound engineering, what's all involved in that? Where could you go to school for that? So if they ask questions like your parents would, those are the people that are interested in you. If you go to somebody and say, oh, I really want to be a firefighter, and they go, really? You want to do that? Well, good luck. Then you know that's not a very good friend. If that friend says, oh, cool, well, are you going to go to college first and then go to some kind of school for that? Or do you know if they have a school for firefighting, things like that? So if you know of somebody that basically needs a mentor, ask those questions. Get involved in their life, even if it's your neighbor's kid, and you're friends with your neighbor. Sometimes influence outside of their own family helps. I know that I didn't really have that as a kid. I had my parents, but my other family members, pretty much worthless if you want me to explain it. Now, not all of them were. I'm saying I didn't get a whole lot of advice, but I had an uncle that would ask questions, and that always kind of put me on track and made me think about things. And so if there's somebody in your life you think you can help them. I mean, it's worth it. And the only reason I think about this is that I know there's kids in my life that need help, and so I'm going to be there for them and help them in whatever I can, and try to be a good influence on them, and try to give them advice, but not as a parent, but more as someone who's been through things and have seen things and kind of know what it's like not to have somebody in their corner to help them. So anyway, main point being, if you know of a kid that needs some guidance, be there for them. You may not have all the answers. Lord knows I don't have all the answers. But maybe you can help steer their path to what they really want to do for life and encourage them to follow their dreams and not just get stuck into something that they don't like. So, anyway, I'll step down from my soapbox now. Really, I'm not really soapboxing. It's just something that I've thought of today. So, anyway, hope you guys like this extra long vlog, and I kind of changed it up today. I don't know. I think about just doing quick updates and then just talking about a subject. I kind of like doing that. So we'll see how it goes. But hopefully everybody had a great Tuesday. I certainly did not, but it was an alright Tuesday. Did I say Thursday? Damn it. My brain is... For those that don't know what vinyl records are, I feel sorry for you. Those that do, just put it this way, my 45 keeps skipping, so I might need to push the needle a little bit so my brain will catch up. But anyway, hopefully everybody had a good Tuesday.